Listen, I've been at this game with TRT in coaching real men, diving deep into the literature, doing systems thinking on how to dial this stuff in for a very long time. And in that time, there are a ton of patterns that I've been able to witness that are reproducible patterns that tell you the truth. And there are 5 of those patterns that I want to talk about in this video that show you very clearly you're underdosing your testosterone. Now, look, I know there's estrogen control and there's side effects sometimes, and you've got to keep your eye on hematocrit, which is why if you're going to higher end dose TRT, your health has got to be in order. And you've got to do the things to manage those markers like cardio, like water, like being healthy in terms of hematocrit, lipids, blood pressure, and all that. But if you want the benefits of higher dose TRT, you've got to do all that. Let's talk about the 5 major signs that you are underdosing TRT. You know why this is useful? Because if you have these 5 signs, the solution is almost always just dosing more test, which is awesome. All right, sit back, relax, strap in. Let's break this down. All right, before we start the video, look, Cortex Labs, which is my company, is a TRT guidance and sexual dysfunction resolution company. 2 major things I want to show you. All right, number 1, recently launched High Dose TRT Mastery. It's an hour video course, mega dosing test, achieving supercharged libido and erections with high doses, enjoying cycle level anabolism and strength, and exposing daily injections is inferior. Brand new video course, boys, the one you've been waiting for. It's 20% off. Codes on the screen. Get it down in the description of this video. Coaching is back to 50% off. This is 3-month coaching. This is 6-month coaching. Listen, we get results. If you've got sexual dysfunction, libido, erection issues, cannot dial in on TRT, this is what I do. We will get results. Book me for 50% off. You're saving thousands of bucks right now. Code is on the screen. We're on the fact finding call as soon as the next day, and we begin. This is not for the faint of heart. It is not for everyone. It's for people with the budget that want to get their TRT protocol straight forever and fix libido and erections. Let's go. 50% off. All right, so look, some people do just fine on lower doses, like the 100 to 130 milligram dose range of testosterone. And some people are even lucky enough to be able to inject that however they want, and they just end up in the right ratios. Their sexual function's fine. They're happy with the anabolism and energy, and they can ride off into the sunset. But generally speaking, right, a disproportionate more amount of people need higher doses of TRT. Me and Ryan Root have talked about this. Me and Vigorous Steve have talked about this on air. And in the end, it's just true for some people. Here are the 5 signs that you are underdosing your TRT. All right, number 1, nocturnal erections. You don't have them. Okay, this is like arguably the biggest sign. If you're not having nocturnals, it means at nighttime, there isn't specifically enough DHT input to trigger that automatic response of an erection, which, by the way, at nighttime is a protective mechanism, oxygenating your penis and filling it with blood to protect it from fibrosis. And you don't have to have them every night, but you should be having them some nights, right? People are going to see, they go on 200 milligrams a week, they spread out the injections, the nocturnals start to come back. That's a sign that your penis is now healthy. Sometimes you have to forget about the dose, all right? Some guys are going to need 200, some people 250, sometimes a little more, 270, 266. Then they get the nocturnals back. It was a signal they needed more testosterone. Now, look, I'm always going to caveat with some people cannot tolerate estrogen above range or above their range. And the way that they're converting makes it so the estrogen and the DHT are out of ratio. So they're going to need to take zinc, maybe an AI itself, maybe some daily calcium D-glucarate to just nudge it right in the right ratio. Some men don't have to. As long as they're injecting less frequently, they can dose 200 because they get a trough in estrogen and less exposure at the tissues. But believe me, one of the biggest signs that you are underdosing your test is you don't wake up with erections. You don't have them in the middle of the night automatically. If you're worried about estrogen and you're worried about the side effects, again, I broke all of this down in High Dose TRT Mastery. Go get it. Thank me later. All right, number 2, and this is what I don't think a lot of people think about. Erections to the touch. You don't have those either. This is critically important, boys. This is otherwise known as tactile erections. Look, if you can achieve erections for the most part, maybe a little help with Cialis for penetrative sex, but you can't achieve them to the touch. Like you achieving them to the touch, you need more androgens, right? There are nerves in the penis, specifically the dorsal and the pudendal nerve, that communicate directly with your brain to facilitate the tactile erectile response. And those nerves and the ensuing neurovascular cascades that are necessary for erections to the touch, if you're not getting them, you need more androgens. Again, caveating with maybe you need to lower the estradiol if you take more test. Again, zinc, chrysin may work for you. DIM is largely useless. Calcium D-glucarate, pretty okay. You got to take it every day. Or a low dose of an aromatase inhibitor, primobolan or masteron, possibly even provided. You've got to figure out, some guys, again, they don't need the AIs when they go up there. Other guys do. But if you're not getting erections to the touch, tactile erections, you almost definitely are underdosing TRT. Number 3 sign that you are underdosing your test, this is another huge one that I know is very popular, and I know a lot of you guys deal with it because I see it when you come to me for coaching, is your libido fails during sex, right? You're in the act, and then in the middle of the act, you lose it. You can maybe get an erection for sex, and you're in there, and you're feeling good, your libido's firing. Then the signal terminates. That's a sign you don't have enough of the androgenic signal. Right? It could also be a sign of too low estrogen for your androgens. It works both ways. You got to be aware of that. But generally, if your libido is failing during sex and you're having to focus more to like keep it up and to maintain and to climax, that is not how the natural dialed-in human male body works regarding sexual function. It's supposed to be very natural and automatic. You don't have to think about it. You're just literally enjoying what you're doing in the moment, and climax is easy, and you don't lose your libido. The single biggest thing that is driving that is obviously on the 50,000 foot view, it's the androgens, but the 5,000 foot view, it is dopamine. Again, testosterone enhances the limbic system side of dopamine so that you can maintain libido all around, and especially during sex. Now, libido failing during sex is all manner of other things that could go wrong, so you always have to be looking at your prolactin. Prolactin can go over range, and in that case, libido is going to fail during sex because it's shutting off hypothalamic dopamine neurons. But generally, it is a signal you need more androgens, right? You're underdosing your TRT, guys. Number 4, you're semi-anabolic, but you don't really look like you're on TRT. You know, like the rounded shoulder look, that cut-defined look where you get great fucking pumps at the gym. You're anti-catabolic. You look like you're on TRT. I mean, there's guys at various doses of testosterone where, you know, maybe they're at 115, 120 or so. There is a particular rounded, saucy kind of look that TRT can deliver. It's kind of like anabolic steroids. I mean, testosterone is an anabolic steroid, right? You dose it high enough, you're certainly on a cycle. If the anabolism just is not there, the pumps are just not there, and you can't build muscle easy on TRT, it is a signal you are underdosing your test. And believe me, and this is what I do in coaching and what I've put in courses, you can have your cake and eat it too. You don't have to go down to ultra low levels of testosterone to have estrogen at 27 or so or in range so that you have sexual function, and then you forego all the anabolism. There's a way to dose it higher, get the anabolism you need, look saucy, feel great, have pumps, and still maintain killer libido and great erection quality. Number 5, and this is actually a big one, like this is one of the key indicators that you're underdosing test, you recomp like shit. In other words, you eat a little bit of extra calories, it stores right to fat, right? It stores right to fat versus lean mass. You're on a high enough dose of testosterone, your calories to a certain extent, I mean, you go over, you're just going to get fat either way, but to a certain extent, you recomp into muscle mass instead of significant fat mass. You can find on a certain dose of testosterone, right, the right dose for you that's actually high enough that you can eat a little more calories than on lower doses. It is an insane phenomenon. But of course, it makes sense. You know, testosterone helps that. Give you more lean mass, less fat mass. Past a certain threshold, you'll recomp like a king. You can have a cheat day. You can have a couple cheat days. You're not going to look fat. In fact, you might end up looking leaner, fuller, more vascular, and more muscular. And testosterone past a certain threshold is the only thing that does that. If you recomp like shit, it is a signal that you need more testosterone. You're underdosing. Now, guys, I know this opens up the question, and really one of the main dilemmas. If I dose higher in testosterone, then the side effects, then the sleeplessness, then the acne, then the need for an AI. Yeah, that's why I built a bunch of courses and I exist as a coach to help people work through that so they can have their cake and eat it too. It can all be achieved, believe me. You can be on higher doses, get the nocturnals, get the erections to touch, never have a libido that fails during sex, be super anabolic, and recomp like a king, and still have great sexual function. You know, whether it's zinc, it's an AI, it's DHT derivatives, or injecting less frequently so you have trough and estradiol, less exposure at the tissues, and you end up dialed in that way. Even though your numbers may be 55, 60 picograms per milliliter estradiol, you're going down in the trough. It's not staying there. There is an epidemic of underdosing TRT, and it is directly related to the advice that is being given on the internet. Don't fall prey to it. Again, boys, one of the most useful video courses that I knew needed to be put out to the market, that a lot of you are suffering from this issue, is high dose TRT mastery. I show you how to do it in this video course. Believe me, all I focus on is getting results. I am a systems thinker, been seeing patterns for nearly a decade and coaching real men. I put how to high dose test, get the cycle level anabolism, get the erections, get the libido, feel incredible in high dose TRT mastery. It's a brand new video course. You can get it down in the description of this video. It is yours now to move forward with your TRT protocol the right way. Code's on the screen for a major discount. At the same time, listen, sometimes you're not going to want to go at it alone. For those of you that just want to get the work done, you want to fix libido, erections, sensation, climax while having anabolism and energy, and dial in on a protocol that works. This is all I do, and we get results. I promise you, if you give me 3 to 6 months, we'll fix your sexual function. We'll dial you in. Coaching is 50% off. We run that once a year. The code is on the screen. It saves thousands of dollars. It deducts it directly from the price. And those of you that have been thinking of booking, it's now within your range. Go book. We're on the fact-finding call as soon as the next day, and then we begin, all right? Only if you're ready. Not for the faint of heart and not for everyone. In fact, if you're not serious, I don't even want you on board. But for those that are and want to get their protocol straight, it's 50% off right now. And again, on the homepage of livecortex.com, we've got Mastering Testosterone Cypionate, video course, Mastering Libido and Erections on TRT, video course, Mastering Testosterone Cream for Libido and Erections, video course, source list, vetted list of all the good stuff you might need. Go get it. Everything's down in the description. Thank me later. All right, bro, I need you to do me 2 favors. Number 1, like the video. Like the video. Honestly, makes a huge difference, and we really need that for our channel. Otherwise, sub to the channel, dude. If anything I said resonated with you, man, this is all we talk about. I promise you, I'll take you to the path to glory. Jump on board. I'd love to have you on as a subscriber. I'm going to leave you with a video that discusses high dosing TRT. To put this all together, it's right here. You need to watch it. All right, bro. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll talk to you in the next one.